This is 1946. Nobody wants bloodshed anymore. They want the Godfather Minute. And lucky for them, we are the Godfather Minute. I'm Alex Robinson.
And I'm Andy Robinson.
And together we go through the whole Godfather 1 minute at a time. And yeah, that's it.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's not all that is.
There's more?
I guess you're right. That is it.
Yeah, we just go through, we talk about it, crack wise. Mm-hmm. I always wonder how long do we have to keep explaining? Do you think like if this is someone's first episode, or do you think people will just start with minute one?
You never know.
Do we really have to say, we go through the Godfather 1 minute at a time, or is that just...
Well, I'm assuming these will be archived forever, which means in the future, who knows how time will flow and how if people will do things chronologically.
Futuristic.
Yeah, maybe who knows? Maybe 54 will be the number of the future, and people will always start at 54. Didn't the Mayans have some kind of calendar that didn't start at 0 or 1?
Oh, really? I know it ended at 2012.
How do you know that?
Because that's why everyone thought the world was going to end.
Oh, yeah,
because they had this calendar that was like 1,500, 1,000 years projected, and they didn't get to 2013.
I do know that the year, or very close to I think it was the very year that the Aztec calendar reset was the year that Cortes and his people arrived, which was one reason.
Oh, that's why
the Aztecs thought
that's bad luck.
that it was.
It's bad luck for them.
Yeah.
Bad luck for you. You don't make it a deal.
500 years, and he's still alive.
And they're still alive. Yeah. Anyway, you did say it was minute 54.
It was. So, Alex, repita el minuto.
El minuto.
Número 54.
54.
You got it.
Minuto número 54.
That's it?
Is that right? 54?
54.
54.
You got it.
All right. I was all self-conscious in the middle of it because someone left us I guess it's a bad review.
Yeah.
And they specifically said, it was just too much learning Italian numbers.
Yeah, I saw that too, and
they posted it on our page.
Yeah,
I was like, well, thanks for the feedback there, pal.
Well, I think those are the people who are doing Goodfellas Minute. Yeah, and so they're trying to throw us off. They're trying to get people over to them and away from us. So here we are, of course, spending more time talking about the numbers.
Yeah, they also said we talked about poop. So we talk about pooping. And
did we talk about poop?
Well, we talked about when now we're talking about poop again. Yeah. We talked about when Luca Brasi died and how he evacuated himself.
Gosh, I forgot about all that. Yeah.
Yeah. You never forget that.
That's true. It's funny. One more point about that. I read that too, and originally I thought, we should address it on the show. But then I said, we shouldn't, because that may encourage other people to put negative reviews just in the hope that we talk about it.
That's true. So let's cut that whole part.
We'll cut that chunk out.
Yeah, we'll cut that whole chunk out.
Yeah.
This is minute 54.
54 all the way.
And minute 54 starts off with Mikey entering the foyer of the Corleone house.
Mm-hmm. Mikey, kid, where you been?
So yeah,
that's Sonny on the phone.
This is I'm glad the gang is finally getting together after what seems like half an hour of you know what I mean? I feel like it's been a long time since we've seen the whole family together.
Yeah, the wedding scene, right?
Yeah, which was like 20 episodes ago.
Yeah. I never thought I'd say it, but I missed the days of the wedding when everyone were together. It felt like forever that we were on that section before we got to Sollazzo.
Yeah, so now we're getting into some not that we didn't have good stuff, but
it's heating up, for sure.
It is heating up.
Uh-huh.
So Mikey enters the house and he goes into the living room, and everyone's, is that whose wife is that on the couch?
That's Tom Hagen's wife.
Tom Hagen's wife, Teresa.
Yeah. And
what's Sonny's wife's name?
Sandra.
That's right. Mm-hmm. In the editing, you can cut down the gaff, so you just immediately...
I'm okay, yeah.
I'm like, what's the name? You're like, Sandra.
I may even edit it before you ask the question, a la Jeopardy.
Whoa.
Have we played Jeopardy? Oh, years. Months ago, we did that on a bonus content. I think I gave you, the quiz was so easy that I gave you the answer and you came up with the questions. Yeah. We got to revisit that.
I like the detail of all the Christmas cards taped on the wall.
Yeah,
that was kind of a neat thing. I wonder how they, I'm assuming that's the work of like the set dresser or set.
You mean their responsibility to do the research and put that together?
Like whose idea was it to tape those Christmas cards on the wall? Was Francis Ford Coppola's thing? Oh, that's what all Italian people do. It's this, you're in an Italian house when you see those things taped on the wall, or was it just, that's what people did back in the 40s or whatever.
Gosh, I don't know. Besides the movie that you and I made, robotkiller.com, I don't know the behind the scenes, how much autonomy people have in their different roles on the set.
Yeah.
I guess if the director steps in and points something out, you got to do it.
You gotta.
That's why they call him the director.
That's why they call him the director. Well, the thing I thought of was that I don't know if you remember when we were growing up and we used to put posters on our wall.
Yeah.
And I felt like it was like a battle between like you'd want to use thumbtacks, but then our mom would be like, no, don't, you're putting holes all on the wall and that kind of stuff. So like using fun tack or
that
tape.
Blue,
so I'm also wondering how they kept those postcards, those cards on the wall. Is it just tape? Is it?
Yeah. I wonder what they did in the 40s.
Yeah.
Yeah, they probably...
It's like wax or some other arcane castor oil they smear on the back and slap it up against the wall.
Or DDT, something that's asbestos. Something have you heard asbestos is making a comeback?
I did hear that.
Yeah, that's blue.
Great.
Yeah.
Russian asbestos.
I'll edit that out before someone accuses us of talking about obsolete glues.
It's true.
No, but in all seriousness, I am glad if someone posts something that's critical because I really do want to improve the podcast for our listeners.
Yeah. So you're saying we should ditch the Italian numbers and we should stop making poop jokes?
Well, we'll see. Maybe we should put that on the poll for
never read reviews. That's my policy.
Oh,
yeah. Clemenza, and now so the Mikey goes into the. Do you have anything else to say about that little prelude?
The first little part of that. No, but I have a lot to say about the next section.
Oh, of course. Yeah, that's
so Mikey comes in.
And all the gang is back together almost.
Yeah. They're all talking on top of each other.
Great. It's great overlapping dialogue.
It's awesome. It adds to the chaos.
Yeah.
It doesn't feel chaotic. They're not in a frenzy, but there's definitely indecisiveness, discussion, debate.
Do you want me to? Do you know what it said? What all the things people are saying in it?
I know some of them, but go ahead.
So Sonny says, "What do you think, Goomba? Huh?" And Clemenza says, "That's a lot of blood. That's a lot of bad blood." Solozzo, Philip Tattaglia, Bruno Tattaglia, and then Tom Hagen interrupts with, "I think it's too much, too far. I think it's too personal." You can hear him say,
"Oh, he says that."
Yeah. The Don would consider this a purely, and then Mikey says, "You gonna kill all those guys?"
Yeah.
And then the rest is pretty straightforward.
I think that's where Sonny says, like, "Oh, mind your own business" or something. Yeah,
step out of it.
Yeah.
What does he say? Sonny says, hey, stay out of it. Mm-hmm. Stay out of it, Mikey. Do me a favor.
Stay out of it, Mikey. Where you been, kid?
I like that this is the first, I guess later on in the scene is where is it in this scene that it's not personal, Sonny?
It's, it's later. It's not this minute.
But it is in this scene, though. When they get the thing from Luca, they get Lucas Fish and all that stuff. Is that when he's like, "Oh, we gotta go on the..."
Yeah.
So even
because Tom Hagen comes into the room, I know he's undoing his tie, and Sonny's kind of laying into him. Oh, no, it's later.
It's later in the movie.
It is later. It's coming up soon, but there's definitely time passing because
so it's not okay.
Sonny's put people on the street. I think it's after who gets whacked in the back of the car.
Oh, that makes
in front
sense.
of the car. Yeah,
that makes sense
because that's when the war starts.
Yes, that is
Well, in this scene that we're talking about, minute 54, do you wonder why Tessio is there?
Well, he's one of the Caporegimes, isn't he?
Yeah. And there's another reason.
I know that much about the movie.
Yeah, you got it. All right. Well, that's minute 54. Told you I didn't have very much. So there's another reason that Tessio is there. You want to take a guess?
He's an undercover detective.
Strategic reason.
A strategic reason? And maybe they want everyone like accounted for so that until they know who the traitor is. Maybe.
You're getting closer. You want another guess or you want me to just
They
tell
think
you?
Tessio is the traitor.
No, but you're really close.
I'm just fishing. What is it? What's the answer?
Barney, you need me here at this meeting? I'm coming all the way from Brooklyn, Barney. It's terrible.
I'm coming all the way from Brooklyn, Barney.
How does Tessio sound?
I think it's more like deeper.
Barney.
There you go. That was a good one.
That was
a good one.
Barney.
I talked to Bazzini. Woo!
That's why whenever you talked to Barney, he told me to come over.
That's why whenever you said that line, I talked to Barzini, I always thought you were doing your Tessio impression.
Get out of here.
I swear I did.
Really?
Yeah.
Until right now?
Yeah, not right now, but
always...
until like you did it a couple of times on the show, and I thought you were imitating. I was conflating it with the fact that Tessio's the one who tries to broker the deal later. Like, I talked to Bazzini. He wants to meet you over at Louis.
Yeah.
It's a family joint.
I just put that together. That's so funny.
Yes.
Well, so Tessio is there because now Clemenza, in addition to Paulie, are both suspects.
So Clemenza is the suspect.
Paulie and Clemenza are both suspects. And so
Paulie, Clemenza because Paulie works for him.
Correct.
Got it.
Yeah, because Don Corleone got shot under Clemenza's watch.
Right.
And so Tessio was one of the first people that Sonny called, and he said, I want you to get over here with 50 of your best trustworthy men right away.
So it wasn't...
And he and Tessio on the phone talked a little bit about it.
Oh, that would have been an interesting thing.
Interesting, right? So Sonny did learn a little bit from the old man to just think as others around you are thinking immediately. He's like, oh, I can't trust all these people.
Right.
But I know I can trust Tessio.
I guess because he's the least untrustworthy guy.
Well, because Tessio could not have been in.
How does he know Tessio and Clemenza aren't both?
I guess that's
conspiring
possible. That is possible, but I think he's trying to narrow it down.
Maybe
if you can't trust Tessio or Clemenza, I think it's game over.
Yeah. That's a good point, though.
Isn't that interesting?
Yeah.
And another. Can I read a little bit from the book?
Sure.
This is interesting. It's not in the movie. It is a little bit different than the movie.
Mm-hmm. The book is different than the movie. The book is different than the movie.
Here we go. This was Sonny on the phone with Tessio.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I have a collect call from a Salvatore Tessio. Will you accept the charges?
Yeah, put it through. Okay, Tessio said. I'll be over your father's house as soon as I get things rolling, okay? You know my boys, right? Yeah, Sonny said. He hung up the phone. He went over to a small wall safe and unlocked it. From it, he took out an indexed book bound in blue leather. This is Sonny, by the way, not Tessio. Mm-hmm. He opened it to the T's until he found the entry he was looking for. It read, quote, Ray Farrell, $5,000, Christmas Eve.
Huh.
And I'm going to end it. Do you want to take a guess as to what that means?
It must be somebody either borrowing or so it's money changing hands, obviously. I'm going to guess it's a bribe that was given on Christmas Eve. Well, but I give up. What is it? I'm just going to be...
This was followed by a telephone number. Sonny dialed the number and said, Farrell? The man on the other end answered. Yes, Sonny said. This is Santino Corleone. I want you to do me a favor, and I want you to do it right away. I want you to check 2 phone numbers and give me all the calls they got and all the calls they made for the last 3 months. He gave Farrell the number of Paulie Gatto's home and Clemenza's home. Then he said, this is important. Get it to me before midnight, and you'll have an extra very Merry Christmas.
So is the 5,000... That's how much the phone company guy is in the hole to the Corleones, and that's why they kind of...
It doesn't explain. My guess is yes.
I can't imagine it costs $5,000 to have him trace lines.
Yeah.
So
I guess that's a little blue leather-bound book of all the people that owe money. It's odd that Sonny has it. Is this Sonny's personal book, Or is it Don Corleone's book?
I'm going to guess it's Don Corleone's book, and because he's training Sonny, so he's like, listen, I got a safe.
Yeah.
I got a safe over there with the money. How much everyone owes who.
What's it going to be, Pop?
I'm surprised he would use like real names and not code words.
Yeah.
So
yeah, if they ever got raided, it would all be there.
yeah.
Maybe the guy's name is not Ray Farrell.
Oh, it's Faye Rarell. Cleverly changed it. There was that scene originally, and it was restored to the Epic, where Sonny talks about having the calls traced and all that stuff.
Okay.
There's a little bit of it in there.
Oh,
so.
great.
So that's
yeah, they're just yapping away in the scene. Tom says one of the things that Tom says is Sollozzo's the key. You get rid of him, every falls into line, or everyone falls into line, everything falls into line. So Tom recognizes that Sollozzo really has got to go. If they can get to him,
or if they're I was say if they're not going to do because Tom's also pushing to do the deal. If they can't get to Sollozzo, then they should take the deal.
Yeah. Makes sense, right?
Yeah, because presumably if Sollozzo was out of the picture, then there wouldn't be any reason for the other families to go to war, because the drug thing would be the whole reason they're doing this is to get the judges and all that stuff.
Yeah.
But if if the Turk isn't participating in the crime, then there's no reason why anything has to change besides what
Wow, you got this down. I think you missed your calling, consigliere. Are you saying that as a consigliere or as a don?
No, this is strictly my amateur opinion. This is not. This is not legally binding or evidence of a crime or anything. This is just purely speculation.
Oh, you're definitely going the consigliere route with that.
I'm just worried I'm gonna have to go before judge in the morning and show cause. So,
woo, yeah. One other point from in this dialogue, Clemenza says that Luca may be shacked up, but Tom says Luca never sleeps over with a broad. He always goes home when he's through. Did you notice that? How does Tom know that?
I imagine they all probably go whoring together and stuff.
Even Tom Hagen?
Well,
Tom Horan Hagen?
Whoring Tom Hagen.
Horan Tom Hagen.
I don't know. I imagine it's the kind of thing where everyone kind of knows the same way they know Sonny's, getting it on, getting some comedy with that girl.
Yeah.
And, unless it's the kind of thing where he's like, don't ever call me at my Don Corleone. Don't ever call me at my girlfriend's house. I always go home when I'm through at my girlfriend's house.
Now leave a message at the beep. He made it sound like his voicemail.
Well, his outgoing message just starts, Don Corleone. Because anyone else who call, he wouldn't care. So he's just addressing the Don Corleone specifically. At least the only one who has the number, I guess.
So I'm picking up on some bonus content here.
What's that?
Maybe what their outgoing messages would be.
All right, you want to write that down?
Oh, and their I know they didn't have smartphones back in the day, but what their wallpaper is and
their Twitter handles.
Twitter handles.
All right, let me write this down. What was it?
Their outgoing voicemail messages.
Oh yeah, and their ringtone too.
Well, and back in those days, the ringtone, they always had to pick up the phone because they didn't know who was calling.
That's true,
right?
Yeah.
Wait a minute. Back then, when you picked up the phone, was it an operator saying you have a call from Dustin 57223, or was it just?
I don't think generally.
So is it just when you made the call?
I think there were certain circumstances, like if you needed the operator, connect me to this number. I want to reach a Vito Corleone in Long Island.
It's only if you're looking for the number.
I don't know. It's a good question.
Okay.
I mean, I've never seen in other movies set in olden times, people just pick up the phone and go hello, and then they talk. So I'm going to guess there was no operator needed for most calls, unless it was a collect call, a person to person call. I never understood what that meant. Are all calls person to person, or person to answering machine, or something?
So in the bonus content, that's one thing we can talk about.
Sure.
Okay.
And if people want to hear that, they can go to godfatherminute.com/support. And you get an additional, and we agreed that the bonus content is funnier than the regular. It's more fun to do anyway.
Yeah.
I think we laugh more in the bonus content because we can pretty much roam around.
We can go off script.
Yeah,
because this is all verbatim notes, that the script that has been typed out in advance.
Yeah, every little odd phrase and half-formed sentence all on there. It's
Every bad Tessio impression planned and rehearsed.
Yeah. This is getting off the track, but I remember reading or hearing
the track.
hearing about the Big Lebowski.
What about it?
That all of the dude's dialogue was written out exactly as it says, like all the likes and all the
no way.
Yeah, like he was reading it exactly how.
Is
it
that
was
true or
yeah?
urban
That
legend?
was that. Like they had very specific.
Holy smokes!
And the only thing Jeff Bridges would say was like, "How long has it been since the dude got high?" Like if he just got high, then he would play it differently than if he had gotten high like 2 hours ago.
Oh wow,
that's a commitment to acting right there.
That's crazy. Yeah.
Speaking of, so another thing about Luca is that they still don't know what the deal is, or that he was sent in as a spy.
Yeah, that's right.
Point. So remember, we were wondering if Tom knew that or not. But
no one knows. That's the big question. Where's Luca Brasi?
It's like the mystery of Luca Brasi.
That should be on a T-shirt. That'd be a great T-shirt.
Or do like a Where's Waldo thing, and there'd be like 1,000 different characters, and you get to find Luca Brasi getting strangled, and then his eyes all popping out of his.
And to really throw people off, you've got other people getting strangled.
Oh yeah, like the Waldo. You know how the Waldo would put in like a candy cane or some other red and white things.
You get one corner of the picture, you've got a wedding scene, and so you see people
practicing their speech.
But it's not Luca. It's a little bit off. Another guy tasting rum or scotch.
Paulie.
Oh, you got a whole lot of Paulies. No. I guess you wouldn't see Paulie in the drawing.
What do you mean?
Paulie, you won't see him no more.
Speaking of which, should we do the cannoli countdown?
Cannoli countdown.
Countdown. Guns and cannoli. Countdown. Won't be seeing Paulie no more. Paulie betrayed me. He got a cold and then didn't show up to work. I thought Paulie was a good kid, but it turned out he was the stupid jerk. I'm talking about a countdown. Guns and cannoli. Countdown. You won't be seeing Paulie no more. You gotta leave the gun to send a clear message, or else you might lose your life. And whatever you do, take that cannoli. Don't upset Clemenza's wife. We're working on a countdown, counting down. Guns and cannoli. You won't be seeing Paulie no more. How many minutes left? How many minutes left? We're doing the countdown. How many minutes left? How many minutes left, consigliere? How many minutes left?
Well, Alex, we are getting close.
Ooh, it is. We're on Paulie Eve, pretty much.
Pretty much. This is minute 54, and we lose Paulie in minute 59.
59, up top.
5 minutes left.
5 minutes?
5 minutes left.
You didn't give me a chance
nothing.
You didn't give me a chance to guess. Yes, we only have 5 more minutes to see Paulie.
That's right. You have 5 more minutes to see Paulie, so call in now. We've got operators waiting. The Paulie whackathon.
Yeah, and you, if I understand, you have started working, or you've completed the next countdown song.
Well, I wasn't going to share it until next minute, but you're forcing my hand.
No, don't do it. Don't share it. I don't think you should debut it until it's.
Oh no, I'm absolutely not going to debut.
Yeah.
No, I just wanted. This is not big news.
Okay.
I shared that I started recording it.
Whoa.
Yes, I've written it and I started recording it.
Nice. I can't wait to hear it.
And it's coming out good. I don't want to pump it up too much because our listeners may not like it. It's kind of hard to top the cannoli countdown.
Does it have learning Italian numbers and pooping in it?
Yeah. A lot of sound
our
effects.
Our audience does not like that song. Is it too late to change it?
No. Sorry. Yeah.
It messes up all my plans if we change it.
Barney.
I talked to Buzzy. I guess that's how you can get into it, is by saying I talked to Bossini, then be like Barney.
Oh yeah, that's how you get into mindset. But to me, I don't think of Tessio when I hear that line. I think
Barney. How did you did it before? You did it good before. What was it, Barney? Barney.
That screws up all my plans. No, it's deep. It's deep.
Yeah, it's deeper. I was always the smarter one, Mikey.
Oh, give me off the hook all the time. It's like Tessio meets Fredo.
Oh, that's what else I was going to point out is that Fredo is not at this meeting.
Yeah, I have a point about that, but for a later minute.
Yeah,
I'll bring it up later. Yeah,
next minute.
I do want to point out some camera work.
Okay.
Did you notice the perspective or where the camera is? Located.
I did. It's in the Don's desk.
Yes.
It's basically his seat,
as if he's watching this.
Yeah.
Yep.
Then two funny things to add to that. There's a cup of coffee on the desk. You know how much the Don loves coffee.
Even on the deathbed, he's drinking that Senka.
And this is something I thought was cool is that, we're seeing it from behind the Don's desk.
Yes.
And one character gets up and comes behind the desk. And that is, of course, Michael, who ultimately winds up sitting behind the desk all the time. And I thought that was, and he picks up a pack of cigarettes, which I don't think it's come up yet, but we're going to see that cigarettes and lighting cigarettes come into play as signifiers of Michael's status. So he's the one who picks up the cigarettes here. So
Yeah,
put
cool.
a pin in that and we'll later. But yeah, I thought that was cool that that Mikey's the one who was behind the desk.
Yeah,
at least for a
great
second.
work.
Yeah. Well, that's all I have.
Yeah, that's all I have too. It's a bit of a transition minute because you've got that first little chunk where Mikey comes in. It's a somber. Oh,
Yeah.
and we didn't say this. When Michael comes in, Clemenza tells him that he's still alive. That's the first Michael learns that he's still alive.
that Michael, or we learned it previously. Yeah. Five shots and he's still alive.
Yeah, we learned it, but that's when Michael learns
Right,
it.
yeah.
I mean, he's not sure because Sonny, earlier when he calls Sonny on the phone, he asked him and Sonny says, "They don't know, kid. It's too soon.
Right.
Come on home. Where you been?"
So you think he didn't know up until that point, or
I don't think so.
Did when they picked him up at the train station, did they say, "Oh, don't worry, your father's"?
I'm not sure.
He doesn't have any kind of reaction really, but that's of course Michael.
That's my classic Michael.
He's not unless he's yelling loudly suddenly. He's not an emotional guy.
So what would you rate this minute?
Well, it's not a lot of action, but it does have a lot of heavy hitters in it, and you have all the gang all interacting. I'm going to go ahead and give it. I'm going to give it. I'll say 3 or 4. I feel like I want to say 3 just because it's not quite a 4 yet.
I'm giving it 3, and as soon as they start talking and have clear dialogue, I feel like it's stronger.
Yeah.
So I'm giving it a 3.
I hope someone is keeping score at home of all our scores. And then they can average them at the end, and that will tell you what we think of The Godfather. Our average rating will be like...
Oh my gosh, yeah. Is that how movies in the future will be rated?
If we have anything to say about it.
Crowdsourced minute ratings?
Like as the movie's going on, it's like thumbs up, thumbs. You see like a little graph on the side showing out the audience satisfaction.
How frequently they turn away or look on their phones.
Yeah, did you ever watch any of the debates like on CNN? They do that.
Oh, do they?
They have like a room where it's like here's a room full of undecided people, Republicans and Democrats, and as the debate's going on, the people like press good or bad depending on what's being said. Okay. You can really tell like whenever a candidate starts talking and it's like a Republican guy, then all the Democrats, all the conservative people decline, and so it's yeah. I wonder if you're doing that as a politician, if you know that, if you're like, I'm going to keep going with this riff because they really love this whole tough on crime dialogue I'm doing.
They have a little earpiece. Stay on the crime. Say the word crime more.
Say the word crime. Say crime one more time.
Say it messes. Keep saying it that this messes up your plans. They like that.
So the minute ends with behind the desk. Yeah, and as the gang keeps talking.
Yeah, everyone's
just picked up the cigarettes.
Everyone keeps talking, and we're going to see next minute where this conversation goes.
Who knows? You know what I think? I'm going to break a prediction.
Okay, we need some prediction music. I will try to work on that. I got a few in the queue, Alex. The new cannoli countdown is the priority.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. Here, I'll write the song for you. Ready?
Okay, do it.
Prediction.
Let's make it right now. Let's write the prediction music right now.
Here's a prediction. Da, 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 da. I predict that in the next minute, they're going to say, you know what, we can't do this without Pop, and they're going to dissolve the crime family.
Just give it all up.
Yeah, well, they're going to divide it all up among everyone.
Okay.
Of course,
Like Brooklyn goes to Tessio, the Bronx goes to Clemenza, like that? Break it up?
that kind of thing. Yeah.
Okay.
Well, the I can't remember the names. The Lake Road Boys.
Yeah, the Lake Road Boys. Enzo and...
I'll give the coffee maker to Bonasera. He clearly needs it.
Well, I predict then if you're going that direction, I agree.
Oh, you're predicting something?
That's right. Give me the prediction.
Prediction.
My prediction is as soon as that is stated, Sonny says, we can't do this without Pop. Let's break it all up. Then the door opens and it's Hyman Roth and his errand boy. I almost said his errand boy, Joey Zaza.
Zaza. It's a young Joey Zaza.
A young Joey Zaza in training.
This is my partner, Joey Zazalewski.
But Hyman Roth comes in with a cake with candles on it to help them cut up New York. Yeah. So the Bronx will go to Clemenza for his years of service.
The Rosado brothers.
Although Paulie will get a piece for his service.
Oh, that movie is so great.
They'll bring in Carlo for to work entertainment.
They'll still be running the candy store.
They'll bring in Carlo to supply the candy to the casinos.
And of course, Tessio will start working on that plaque from Mo Green.
Hyman, that messes up all my plans.
I didn't ask if you had plans. All right, let's wrap this thing up. Hey, you know what? We have 2 different Godfather Minute t-shirts available.
What?
Yeah, you can get those over at one of them is just a generic logo, and the other one is a Waltz International picture.
That's the one that's really selling.
Yeah.
It's the deep cut one.
Yeah, of course. And so you can go where they were selling that over at the Star Wars Minute store. So if you go to starwarsminute.com/merch, it'll take you to our t-shirt store. Mm-hmm. And, a person in your position cannot afford to look ridiculous.
Mm-hmm. That's right.
And I guess that'll wrap it up. So we'll be back for the bonus content in a second. And until then, take the gun, leave the cannoli.